All praise, adorations, and glorifications are due to Allah, the most exalted, the one who deserves true worship, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, the ever-living, the ever-watchful, the ever-looking after the affairs of his own servants, who is never overtaken, by slumber, no sleep, who says in the glorious Quran, and put your trust on him who is ever living and who dies not, Allahu Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. All praise, thanks, glorifications and adorations are due to him, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, in the first life of this world and in the second life of the hereafter. All decisions are his, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and your return is unto him. I bear witness and testify that Allah, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, the ever-living, the ever-merciful, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, is the one who deserves true worship, who says in the glorious Quran, O mankind, indeed the promise of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is but the truth. Therefore, never allow yourselves to be deluded and be misled by the vanities of this world, and allow not the chief deceiver, Satan, deceive you from being on the path of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. I also bear witness and testify in humility that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Allah's servant and messenger, who says, woe, W-O-E, woe and miserability be unto the servant of money, and the cloth of majesty, who is only pleased when the going is good, when he has the world, when he has the money, and if he is tested for not having some, then he becomes angry. Rasulullah says, woe be unto such a person. Miserability, bad luck, bad life, stiff life be unto such people. May Allah save us from being among these people. Brothers and sisters in Islam, the theme of our sermon today is the world as described by the glorious Quran. O Muslims, be righteous and be dutiful to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala through the Islamic teaching of fear of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, who is so elevated in his qualities, names and attributes, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and stand firm on his religion, seeking proximity to him, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, in constant seeking of his own forgiveness. Brothers and sisters in Islam, indeed, the Muslim who contemplates very deeply in the nature of this mundane life that is so permeated with so many challenges, circumambulating and being around the humankind with wars, tribulations, pains, which at the same time breathlessly is pursuing this world, walking tirelessly, pursuing this world in order to satisfy his ego of the lower part of the body, the stomach and the private parts, through the upper part of the body, the mouth. In the end, we'll find that these pursuits that is really pursuing is nothing but a mirage. The way Allah Ta'ala describes somebody who breathlessly and ardently, without stop, is just pursuing the world for no purpose. Allah says it's just like a mirage being seen from a distance by a traveler who is so thirsty that, oh, there's water there. If I go there, I can get something to drink to quench my thirst, until he reaches the place and finds it empty and there's nothing there. The way the most knowing describes the world, and nobody can describe this world better than the creator, the owner. You and the world are his own properties, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So he tells us and describes the world. Therefore, such a person, the non-Muslim at this point in time, now needs to really revisit the Quranic description of the world in order to become enlightened and to have the spiritual light, to have also consolation and to view things in their proper perspectives, and so that he will have proper resolution and determination. This is it. What a beauty to it, and to some few lines of poetry from the preceding Muslim scholars. One of them said, أَرَى الدُّنْيَا لِمَنْ هِيَ فِي يَدَيْهِ أَذَابًا كُلَّمَا كَفُرَتْ لَدَيْهِ. I just look at this world through contemplation and through experience. And whoever has an accumulation of the material things of this world, these accumulations become punishment to him whenever the worldly things become more and more. It is true. So I see this world. The world despises whoever magnifies it. Whoever magnifies it. تُحِينُ مَنْ يَحْتَرِمْهَا بِصِغْرٍ. But it respects the one who is indifferent to the world, but looking through the lawful source. إِذَا اسْتَغْنَيْتَ عَنْ شَيْءٍ فَدَعْهُ وَخُذْ مَا أَنْتَ مُحْتَاجٌ إِلَيْهِ. If you don't need any, if you are not in need of something, just leave it and take that which you are in need of. Another poet also said that this world, هي الدنيا أقل من القليل. This world is the smallest of whatever is smallest. If you know anything that is smallest, minutest, then the world is smallest of it and minutest of it. وَعَاشِقُهَا أَضَلُّ مِنَ الذَّلِيلِ. And those who are just pursuing, who are so much married in love to the world and it is materialistic things, without having to look at it through the lawful ways approved by Allah, then he is the lowest of the low. تُسِمُّ بِسِيرِهَا قَوْمًا وَتُعْمِي. This world, what does it do? It makes certain people deaf and dumb because they don't see. فَهُمْ مُتَحَيِّرُونَ بِلَا دَلِيلِ. You see them so confused, so misdirected, suffering from psychological complexes without a reason. And this is what is happening. That is why we suffer in Nigeria. Elsewhere in the world, you walk, you don't need any godfather, you are sure of everything, you are sure of security, you are sure of your insurance, you are sure of power supply, you are sure. But this one, somebody will be purchasing something that is but a mirage. That is why when Alim says, rahimahullah, that Allah has special chosen servants of Allah who understood this world and treated it with divorce the way a troublesome wife, who gives you not respite, not breathing space. To you, she becomes like a hell. She despises you. She abuses you. She extends discontent to her parents. She doesn't like your relatives. Anything of yours is to her an evil. And you try, and you try, and you try, but unfortunately, there isn't any solution. Then the divorce, the world, the way a husband has become fed up with a troublesome wife. But I want to assure you there are many good wives, many good women, many righteous women. You know, the women folk don't take this lightly. But the fact must be said, especially the so-called in court, the Akada women, the so-called, what do you call them, the millennium women and so on. And you can come and give her your salary, she'll tell you, stupid, a poor man. Is this enough for me to go to buy hamburger or to buy cheese? Look at you. A pauper and a poor, useless. I will say, yes man, yes man. I will go again. So you can, so people that can steal, they can devour the trust that is given unto them. We have to be careful. But there are very good, righteous women. Allah knows. May Allah wa ta'ala grant us righteous women. And may those that are with us be righteous also. Not only that, there are also evil men, very dangerous men. So we should understand that. So let us have some balance. Brothers and sisters in Islam, they contemplate in this world, and when they understood that in this world is a permanent abode, then they considered the world to be like a big ocean and took righteous deeds as what? As big ship that they will use to pass through to the destination. Borrow me the ears of your own hearts. Borrow me the ears of your own hearts. Let me have your attention. And come with me to ponder on the Quranic description of this world. Allah the Most High says in the glorious Quran, indeed, the similitude, the example of the life of this world is like the rains that we drop from the skies, which mixes with the crops in order to germinate. And the germination took place, and now the plantations or the plants have become so greenish and beautiful. And wherever you go is so beautiful. It catches the glimpse until the owner feels, oh, I will make a margin, very big one this time around. I will have 100,000 bags of rice. I will have this and so on. Then Allah's test overtakes this ambition either in the morning or in the night, and it becomes like a withered farm and nothing is there. Allah says, so we grant the people verses for them to contemplate and ponder in order to think. Such is the life. Elsewhere, Allah says, Allah calls to the home of peace, the real home of peace, the real abode of peace in the Jannah, and calls you and guides whomsoever He pleases to the right path. Elsewhere, Allah describes the world as jest, joke, amusement, pastime, and competition between people, and rivalry in worldly accumulation. I have this, all for nothing. Just the way small children play, or the big men play and joke. And Allah elsewhere, at the end of the verse, said, what is this life if not the enjoyment of deceit? In the sermons authored by the leading triumvirates of the Sokoto Caliphate, may Allah have mercy on them, of their sermons, they used to say, I warn you against this world because the world has no trust. It has no trust. It is the home of woes, home of pains, tribulations, and death. Happiness and delight of this world never subsist forever. And the power acquired in the world and are sometimes taken away. And this is it, the way Allah says, وَتَنْزِعُ الْمُلْكَ مِمَّنْ تَشَاءُ. That is why you see, in terms of power, political administration, Allah says, He takes it. Because nobody will want to leave it. That is why today in Africa, you find somebody who cannot even walk, cannot talk, but still wants to continue. And that is why Allah says He takes it away from whoever feels that you will cling to it. The days and nights of this world are but trials, pains, and agonies. There's no rest for every Muslim who truthfully submits to Allah, because he's always working towards reaching Allah Ta'ala. Being careful not to trample upon the rights of Allah Ta'ala. And understand that you can't get what is with Allah with just pastime, jest, or amusement. Therefore, it is said in a wise saying, this world is like an hour. Therefore, make it obedience to Allah, and teach yourself self-contentment. May Allah Ta'ala guide us right. May He protect us against the evils of the world. May He protect us against the treacheries of the world. May Allah Ta'ala relieve us of all troubles and problems. May Allah Ta'ala grant us the wherewithal to be able to live with our families in affluence through halal. May Allah protect us against all evil. Subhanahu.